The whole band are a lot of trouble. You never know what anybody's going to do. I mean, I tried suggesting things in the beginning, but it's absolutely pointless. Because everybody just does what they want.
So is that how you work? Everyone just
Yeah.
in?
Yeah. Yeah. You better ask them. I think that's the most exciting thing about it.
Yeah, I'd like to say this psychiatrist, he's walking down New York Street, right? Yeah. And he gets run over by a car, he's dead. Yeah. So he's on his way up to heaven. Yeah. St. Peter's there at the gate, and he says, "Oh, we're expecting you." He says, "You are? I just want to go through onto heaven." "You'll go through, but we have a problem here. We may need you." He says, "Yes." He says, "It's about God." And he says, "Yes, God has a problem." He says, "Well, what's God's problem?" "God, he thinks he's David Bowie."
Wow! What a funny way to end it, you know.
Well, today his material's off. Usually he's working the club down the street.
You're his brother. When is he first interested in music? When did you both become interested in music?
I guess when he was about 8 years old.
And what about yourself?
At that time, but I'm a couple years older than he is. Yeah, about 10, 11.
Do you both come from a musical family?
No. I don't know where it came from.
What were the first records that you both
Actually, the first records that I heard were the Orlons and actually rhythm and blues stuff. It's the first stuff I listened to. But tell him how long you've been into David, his music. He's been into David's music. What, did David do something before Tin Machine? Did he do something before Tin Machine? I've been into David ever since like 1986. Back that far. That's when you know what I mean?
You never miss one of my shows, did you?
No, I don't. I never see one.
So I never miss it.
Reece, is this the first session you've had since the album?
Since the album, yes, it is.
And in your own opinion, how's it going?
Well, today's the first session, so it's.
Could you give me a second opinion?
You're ugly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Who's the
I
most
mean, we play the way we play.
Japan to control?
Watch it.
That's a hard one to call. They're all a pain in the ass.
Thanks. All right.
By the way, this is Kevin. We worked together at Live Aid for the first time. We've done quite a bit of work since. And I'm not a great rhythm guitarist, so... so Kevin does what I pretend to do.
So Kevin, a member of the
Well,
band,
Kevin's a proper musician.
We first met David about 15 years ago. So.
First time, but then we worked together about 12
And then
years.
we worked together 12 years ago. We did the Less for Life album with Iggy Pop. And we've kept in touch over the years. And one night I was just out and someone told me that David was going to be at this get-together somewhere. So I thought I'd drop by and say hello. And I dropped by and said hello, and he said hello back. And he told me that he had this great guitar player that he'd like me to hear, and that he was thinking of doing a project with, and would I like to be included in it? And I said, sure, let's go, you know. And I said, should I call the drummer up? And he said, yeah, call the drummer up.
And I met Reeves. I was given his tape on the last Spider tour. I'm given an awful lot of tapes on tour, but I try and get round to playing them all at some point, you know. Even if I can't do anything with them, I listen. And this one tape was really great. He was very selective. He was very clever because he picked out all the best bits of guitar playing he'd done. I didn't have to sit through hours. They were the bad bits. That's probably why I liked it so much. He picked out all the good bits, or bad bits, as he puts it.
It's time to change.
And said, these are my good bits. We work together. Do you fancy doing something? You know, and I love the tape, and so I got hold of him immediately.
So is the style of music you're doing now what you did from the beginning, or have you developed it as you've gone along?
It's developing itself, and the music is revealing itself, I think, as we play it. I mean, we all have a way we play, and it just recombines in different ways from song to song. You know?
There's a heavy emphasis on rock music. What is it that attracts you all to rock music?
I think it's it's our background, you know, rock and roll, opposed to, I don't know, you say metal or what, you know, quote, metal, which I think is... What is it that attracts us to each other?
No, listen, you know, like with only two of the guys really, I think, I don't know about you, are like sort of jazz, know anything at all about jazz. You were never a jazz freak, but I know you like listening to it, but you never played it, right?
No, I never played it, but actually jazz was the first music I heard. My father was a disc jockey at the beginning of his career. Yeah. And, you know, but seriously.
It was a question of finding the right kind of music that really didn't have too much orchestration about it, and the easiest kind of music to become free on, because it only has 2 or 3 chords in, you know, is rock and roll. Otherwise, if it started getting too chordy and arranged, it wouldn't be anything like what we wanted to do, because we wanted to put our own individual personalities into what we were playing, and it was very important. It was, the structure was as loose as possible so that everybody could improvise to a certain extent on what we were doing. And rock and roll is the best format, and it's the music we all love.
Heavens and hell, heavens and hell, among the twilight stars, like a rocky two boys. Heavens and hell, dance on my tongue, you dance on the sun, and the twilight stars. Heaven and hell.
So what type of concept would you say you're trying to promote the Tin Machine? How do you want
We
people
don't-
to see it as a band?
I don't, that's, I think, oh, I'm not going to shut
I don't
up.
think it's a concept.
You know,
Is it?
you ask where the music came from, and I think it's just a reflection of our hanging out together. You know, the music reflects just what we like to play and what our hanging out is about. You know, it's what obviously every musician takes from their past. You know, we take from our own past and just throw it in. You know, it's,
The only concept that we do have is that we won't wear bondage gear, you know. I mean, it really is...
I was going to ask you about that. Have you thought carefully about the image you're trying to portray?
No, that's exactly it. That it's very... in
Be
these
yourself.
days of... Be yourself.
Whoever that is.
Whoever that is.
someday
it's
we'll
a-
find ourselves and be very disappointed we did.
It was of prime importance to us that the music was the priority, you know, and it's very difficult these days to kind of avoid this whole image thing. So the only thing that we knew is that we just didn't want to start dressing up in leather and chains, you know. So
We knew what we didn't want to do.
but that's the best way of looking at it.
Think about the good things.
David, as did the rest of us, we went in the studio. We put down what we were feeling that day, you know, and to change anything from that is
Starts getting into a production.
It starts to. I mean, you can water and water and water it down, and then it's not. You lose the essence of what your original feeling was there. I suggested. I know for sure that I suggested that things didn't be rewritten.
No, you didn't.
See? And actually, no, he suggested that. Well, what happened is we'd put a track down and we'd come back from lunch and David would have a whole sheet of lyrics there. And what did you do with them?
Well, for me, the exercise is good in as much that it was just impressionistically written. I mean, just wrote the very first things that came into my mind and what suited the feeling of the music. Lyrically, I think the songs are strong, and musically they're obviously strong. But I don't think we have any soapbox particularly but to shout from.
I think if there's anything that we could change, that might be our socks.
ride to rock with me on a hit crack city. Hit crack city. Piss on the icon monsters whose guitars bequeath your pain. They'll mix you down to their level with their addictions and their fast lanes. You're up with shake and blizzards, and crack and coke and alcohol. They're just a bunch of assholes with buttholes for their brains. You can't keep on riding, and you know so well. They'll ride you down to the subway, ride you down to hell on a hit crack city. Hit crack city. And you, the master dealer, may death be on your brow. May razors slash your main lines. I'm talking to you right now. All your vilest nightmares, consume your sunken head with the hounds of paranoia. Dance upon your stinking bed. Don't use nightmares. This nation's turn and move. These stinking smells of highways. Milky smell like glue in Crack City.
For us, fairly important to realise is that we don't always get on with each other or agree, you know. I mean, it's not particularly, every moment isn't a happy moment.
Like we can be people together.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, we're not like, we haven't got this strong front, we are Tin Machine and this is our strong front, you know. That's absolute bullshit. We argue a lot and we don't always particularly agree with each other's...
I mean, of course, you have to fit it in some kind of format because we make records, people,
Yeah.
and then there's,
Yeah.
you know, a record cover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's some
But the
kind of
solid front business is pretty tiresome to me because it's not true, you know. There's no such thing as, oh, you know, we're all in this together and we all think alike and we
we're
walk
gonna
the
change
same.
the world.
It was
Yeah,
all right for
we
the
all-
Beatles, but I think it ended there.
But he's got very strong personalities, and I think that was the thing. It was, personality-wise, it was adjusting, you know. For me, it was very hard, to be quite honest. It was very hard for me to relinquish responsibility for ideas and things.
Do you see Tin Machine as a long-term project, or is it just a whim?
I think project might be the wrong word. I think band is
So
the,
it's
is the
long-term.
word.
I mean, I'm quite certain if anybody really got bored enough or angry enough or whatever, they'd just take a walk, you know. So it's that kind of, it's just dependent on how we all keep getting on with each other musically and personally. I mean, I would hate to put a limit on it. I can see, I would like to think that we've got at least 2 more albums in us. That's what I'd like to think. But you don't know, do you?